All right, I got shoes on today, y'all. So what's up? This is Journey with Wendy, and I am Wendy. And today, what I'm going to be showing you is how to make. Well, one thing I'm going to attempt to show you, and then the other thing I'm going to show you for sure. So what I'm going to show you is how to make roux in the microwave for 2 ways. So the roux that I'm making is going to be a dark roux, and for gumbo, maybe once a year I make gumbo, depending on how I'm feeling. And so it's about that time, and so I'm gonna make a keto version of the gumbo, and then I'm gonna be making a non-keto version of the gumbo. The non-keto version of the gumbo I have made before, and it turned out very, very well. It was very, very successful. The keto version of it I have not tried. And so we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. What you're going to need is glass containers. This right here that I'm using is a mason jar, and it has a half a cup of ghee, which is also known as clarified butter. And so I have a half a cup of that. And so now, I don't know how this gonna turn out, y'all. But now now I am about to add, she tripping. Now I'm about to add half a cup of, what's this stuff called? Almond flour. I don't know how I'm gonna do it though. Let me see. So I'm gonna just hopefully don't spill. Oh, it's spilling. Ooh, it's spilling. I'm good, Joni. Thank you. And so you want to make sure that you mix this very, very well, very, very good. Mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it, mix it. This ain't real till I spill something. And so I'm just going to ensure that this is well incorporated. And once it's almost there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm getting rid of the plastic spoon. Getting rid of the plastic spoon. And now adding it back to the microwave. And so like I said before, I have successfully made roux in the microwave. And they say that you can make roux in the oven. That one I wasn't finna try. I think I did try to attempt it. That's a lie. So I did try to attempt it, but I was just like, this is taking too long. It's too much work. So I cannot give you a recipe on that because it was team too much. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going at 1 minute increments until it starts to brown. This is the keto version, and so anytime you're gonna make a roux, you can use butter, you can use clarified butter, you can use bacon grease. I typically like to use bacon grease because it gives you more flavor. I think one time I used sausage grease. Yeah, one time I used sausage grease, and so the result was still, I don't know, y'all, about this one. I don't know about this. So this is actually foaming, and it spilled all in my little, and it spilled in my microwave. Can you give me a paper towel? But it is changing color. But I'm gonna have to get this out of the microwave. Hold on, y'all. So now I took it down to 45 seconds. Yeah, so now it's at 45 seconds. And so I'll be back periodically to show you what it looks like. All right, so this one was foaming as well. I did it for 45 seconds this time. And I don't know if you can see, but the color, well, you could see if I move that out the way. Let me move this stuff. Hold on, y'all. So now the color hasn't changed. It's still golden, the color of the ghee. So it's still just regular old yellow. Old yeller. Let me see. Can you see? Yeah. So it's just regular old yellow at this point. So I'm going to put it in. Even with putting it in at 45 seconds, it still began to foam. So normally when I start doing it, I just go for 1 minute increments, as I stated before, and then going for 1 minute increments, because if you do 30 seconds, you're gonna be doing 30 seconds for a long time, because it could take anywhere from 7 to 10 minutes for the roux to get dark. I do know that at 5 minutes it does start to change and it does start to darken. I'm not sure. Like I said, this is the first time of me trying the almond flour one, so I don't know how it's gonna do. Hold that thought, y'all. I don't know how it's gonna do, and so I'm just stirring it while it's in here. Let me see. Yeah, stirring it while it's in here. I'm gonna continue. I have seen people make, when I was looking into keto, because I knew that this, around the November, December, January time frame, I do make the gumbo. And so I was looking because I wanted to make a keto gumbo. And so in wanting to make the keto gumbo, I sought out to see, if anybody had done it. And so for the most part, I saw one gentleman. He had done keto gumbo and he had made his roux, but he made his roux on the stove. I've made roux on the stove before. The last time I did it, I made roux on the stove and I used a non-stick skillet, and I used like one of these. In doing that, my plastic utensil burned, and so it is not safe to make roux and use plastic utensils. I found that out, I wouldn't say the hard way, but because I found out, I'm able to tell y'all what not to do. So you either want to use metal, you want to use either metal or wood. You don't want to use any of the plastic, it's that almond flour. You don't want to use any plastic containers at all when you are making roux. And so with that, let me see, this is a fourth. So I'm gonna just dip my little deal in there. That's one. Two. So that's half a cup of baking. Yeah, half a cup of baking. Half a cup of bacon drippings. I want to show you where we're at with this one. And so, dang, you can't see. So with this one, back up, it's changing colors, as you can see. So this is at the 3 minute mark. Wait, yeah, this is at the 2 minutes and 45 second mark, I think. No, it's at the 3 minute mark. So at the 3 minute mark, it's changing color. So we're gonna go another 45 seconds. And yeah. And so what you want to do is you want to ensure that you're checking on your roux, because you don't want to just, you don't want to just blast it for 4 minutes. You don't want to just blast it for 3 minutes. Like, you don't want to do that, because once your roux is burned, like, yes, you are, when you make roux, you're burning it. But like, once it's like burn, like, you ain't no coming back from that. And so I'm gonna just stir it, because the color hasn't changed. It has not changed a whole lot. I mean, it is darker, but it ain't like, okay, I'll just show you at every step. And so I can smell the burning, because when you make roux, it's a distinctive smell. And so it smells just like regular roux. It is darker. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up on it, but it is darker. And so I'm stirring it ever so often, because I don't want any particles to actually, like, any parts of it to burn. So now we're going for 1 minute and 6 seconds. So basically, like, when you're doing it, so once you get it to, because the point that I'm about to get it to right now, that I'm going to demonstrate to you guys, after this point, you want to start doing 30-second increments, because you don't want to take it too far where it's not, where it'll end up not having a pleasant taste. Because I used to, so for me, the reason why I started I started making my own gumbo was because there was a time where we were, I would make gumbo, like when I would go to my parents' house, I would make gumbo. I would make gumbo a lot. And so when that started happening, well, at that point, I was buying roux, and I was buying roux from off the internet. And so then I was just like, well, ooh. So then I was just like, well, I could, do this myself. And so then I just tried it out. And so I was in Kansas when I made my own roux. There you go. You see how it's much, much darker. And so now, because so once you reach 5 minutes, or it starts changing to this darkness, then what you want to do is you want to make sure that, like I said, you're doing 30 to 45 second intervals. And so we're going to go for 33 seconds. And so I was in Kansas and I made my own roux, and I was making stovetop roux at that time. Y'all, stovetop roux. Shout out to all y'all who make stovetop roux, okay? You are the real MVP, honey, or son. Have it go, have it apply. You're the real MVP. And the reason why I say that is because stovetop roux, it is a lot of work. Okay? It's a lot of work. Like, you gotta sit here and you gotta stir, and you gotta stir constantly. Like, you can't blink, because if you blink, you're gonna burn your roux. See? It's darker. You're gonna burn your roux, and it's just way too much. Yeah, I can show you from this angle. So that's what it's looking like. And the reason why it's gone down is because that part that spilled out, yeah, that's the cuz. At this point, you just do 30 seconds until you reach your desired color. I don't like to take mine to where it's like dark black bitter tasting, like that really dark brown roux that you see in a lot of Louisiana establishments. I don't like to take it that far, because I don't like the taste. And that's why I started making my own roux as well, because I would use I think Zatarain's or Tony Chachere, one of the two. They make roux. I mean, they make like a gumbo. They have a gumbo mix. with the roux in it. You see how? And so it wasn't my cup of tea. It tasted processed. And then the ones that like when my parents would go to Louisiana, they would find some in the stores, and they sent me one, and it was too dark for me. I wasn't a fan of it. So then when I got to Kansas, I started making my own roux, and I literally was over the stove for 30 minutes stirring. This was, and because I was afraid to burn it, so I didn't take the heat as high as I would. Like if I would do it now, I would take the heat like way higher. It would be way higher, but I was so scared, and so each time, as you can see, each time I bring it out, it's much darker. It's much darker. And as a matter of fact, this is going to be a 2-part series of making roux. I probably am going to take this just one more time, one more 30 seconds. I'm going to take it one more 30 seconds because that's just what I want to do. I'm going to just take it one more 30 seconds because I think after that it'll be, I probably could go like maybe 3 more times, but I don't want to take it to the point of no return because once you burn it, that's it. And so, and the reason why I have it in this glass jar is because you can, if you have like mason jars and you do it in the mason jars, then you can store it for, a while. And so, oh my God, it's so hot. Yeah. So this is the finished product. As you can see from where we were before, man, I should have took a picture. But from where we were before, okay, I don't need no picture. So this is where we were before. It literally looked like this, if you guys remember. It was this color. And so this is where we are now. This is the finished product. And so what's happening right now is it's still cooking. Even while it sits here, like you guys can't see that. Let me see if I can show you. Hit the microwave. You can't see. Yeah, you can. So it's still boiling. Okay. So it'll end up finishing up the process, and it'll probably go darker than this as well. So I'm gonna just move this, and you really, y'all. Okay, I'm a story time. Hold on, hold that thought. Let me move this because I don't want to knock this over. I don't want to knock it over. So, yeah, so in Kansas, I was over the stove for 30 minutes because I was scared to burn it. Then when we came here to California, well, not when we came here to California, but the last year when I made it, or earlier in the year, that's better. Earlier in the year when I made it, I did it on the stove, and I did it in a red, I bought it from Target. It was like a red non-stick skillet. So the skillet was done because it was warping because I did such high heat. And then, like I said, my plastic spoons, as a matter of fact, I can show you. My plastic spoons were looking like this, so much to the point to where it was like one of them, I know this was the one I used. Yeah, this was the one that I used, and it was actually melting. Throw that in the trash. And so I had made the roux, and the roux was dark. You know what I'm saying? It was as dark as I wanted it to be. And so I poured it in one of the glass jar that you just saw, the little mason jar. I poured it in one of those, and I was going to use it for later, right? Y'all. So the reason why I had the oven mitt on is because I've learned by experiential knowledge, okay? Experiential knowledge. I picked that because what I did was I put it in the microwave, I think, because I wanted it to stay warm for when I was gonna, put it in my pot. And so I put it, yeah, I think I put it in the microwave because I wanted it to be warm. So then I went in the microwave with my bare hands, and I went in and I grabbed it. No, as a matter of fact, it was not. It was on the counter. So I went in with my bare hands and I grabbed it. Y'all, it was so hot. The roux spilled it spilled. It wasn't salvageable. But that roux wasn't able to be used anyway because it had the plastic bits in it. So what I didn't know was that my utensil was melting. I didn't know that, and so when the roux dropped, like I could see the little black specks, and I was like, well, did I burn my roux? So then I looked at my utensil, and I was like, you didn't burn your roux, girl. You didn't burn it. It wasn't burnt. It was because of the heat. Because the heat was so high, it just melted the plastic. So then I had to go to I had to use a different. I had to use a heavy bottom pot, and so the one that you normally see me on here with the silver handles, I used that one. And then I had to go get more butter because I had ran out of, no, not butter. I had to go get and then I use oil with that. So because butter doesn't have a high smoke point, so I wasn't going to use butter. So that's why I used the ghee, because ghee has a 500-degree smoke point. So I used the oil. I had to go get some more oil because I had used basically all the oil that I had left. And so came back home. And that's when I did it in the microwave, because I was like, I had spent 40 for that roux with high heat. I spent 45 minutes. So I was like, I'm not doing that again. That's a no. It's a no, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, sir. No. So I was like, well, it has to be a better way to do it. So I found like one couple, and I can't even remember who they were, but I found one couple that was doing roux in the microwave. He did roux in the microwave, and so his turned out great. Like how this one turned out, his turned out great. And so I was like, okay, well, it's possible to do roux in the microwave. And so like Alton Brown was talking about you can do roux in the oven, and I was like, I ain't doing no roux in the oven. I tried it, but like I said, it was taking too long, and I was making gumbo special for somebody in my to share with somebody in my church. And so I'm like, I don't have time to be wasting, because I wanted to get it to her the next day. And so I was like, I gotta hit it. And so I was like, well, I haven't, because I had enough oil. So I was like, well, okay, well, I'm gonna try it. Tried it. It turned out great. And the reason why I use almond flour is because, like I said, the gentleman that I found, the other couple that I found, they did regular regular all-purpose flour. The gentleman I found, he did keto. He did almond flour, and so I didn't really think it would be done because almond flour is kind of finicky, but it worked. It reacted. I wasn't expecting it for it to overflow like it did, but it worked, And so it's a very, like I assumed it would be. It's a nutty flavor, but if you know anything about roux has a nutty flavor anyway. And so with that, I'm going to conclude part. Well, I can't even say part one, because I was going to do a part two, but I'm just going to keep them separate. So that ends this keto gumbo roux video. And so I'm going to follow it up with the regular roux video. And so with that, you know what that means. Oh, so thank you for tuning into Journey with Wendy. I'm Wendy. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. New videos are posted every Tuesday and Thursday, and sometimes on Wednesday. And with that, I'm out.